Ever wonder what content you should write next for your blog? In this video, you'll discover the 5 types of blog content that make for a great content marketing strategy. Hi, I'm Shane Malach from Thrive Themes, and let's get right into it. There are 5 types of blog posts that if you create all of them, you will have a very rich blog, and it will make for a really good content marketing strategy that attracts many people in many different ways and also supports the conversion goals, the business goals of your website. The first type of content is epic content. And this, I think, is the type of content that gets the most coverage. People love to talk about epic content. The idea here is that you create a piece of content that is great in scope and in ambition. You create something like an ultimate guide to something in your market, for example. And the idea is that this is the kind of post that's very extensive, very thorough, and very, very useful. It's the kind of content that should make people come to your website, look at this content, and be impressed. Just be impressed with how much research you put into it, how knowledgeable you are about this, and how much value you're giving out for free. So epic content is a great content type. It's the kind of content that tends to get a lot of shares, tends to get a lot of attention, but it also is very resource intensive to create. And if you try to make only epic content, that's actually not the best marketing strategy you can use. It's actually when you start combining epic content with the other 4 content types that things really start coming together. So the second content type is conversion content. Conversion content is content you create with a specific conversion goal in mind. An example of this could be, if you sell products, a blog post about a case study of how your product was used, or a tutorial for how to use your product for a specific use case. So this is useful content, but at the same time it ties in very closely with your product. So people will read that, they'll see the case study, they'll go, oh, I want this result as well. And they'll see from the content, well, this product was used to get this result, so I'm going to buy this product. That's what makes it conversion content. It can also be more subtle than that. Basically, any kind of content where maybe you're teaching people something that they need to know in order to become a customer of yours. So you're helping people reach the level of understanding in the market that will make them be able to appreciate your offer and that will turn them into an ideal customer for your offer. So anytime you're creating content where you know I'm teaching this, I'm putting this together in order to move people towards my conversion goal, that is conversion content. This is also an important type of content to think about and integrate in your marketing strategy. You want to ask yourself, what kind of stuff should I write about to help people understand my offer? What kind of different customer avatars do I have? And how can I make content? How can I create tutorials or tell stories that appeal to these different types of customer avatars? The third type of content is story and branding content. So story and branding content is content that you primarily create to communicate what you stand for, what kind of a person you are, or if it's not a personal brand, what your brand stands for and what kind of a company you are. This is the kind of content that gives your business and your brand a personal touch. It's the kind of content that makes people feel like I'm not just buying some product from some anonymous, faceless company. I feel like these people get me and I can stand behind their message. A good example of story and branding content is a rant, right? If maybe you're really fed up with something that's happening in your industry and you make a rant about that. And obviously that's not really epic content, and there's not a clear conversion goal. You're not trying to get people to buy your thing. You're just angry about something that's happening in your market. But it's a really good kind of content to create because it communicates what kind of a person you are. It communicates what you stand for. It's also the kind of thing that people can rally around. So any kind of storytelling and branding content is content where you communicate what you stand for, what you believe in, and who you are. The fourth kind of content you should be creating is reference content. This can be very simple. Basically, if there are concepts you keep referring to, it is good to make a post about that concept, which simply defines what does this mean. And then every time you refer to that in the future, in future blog posts, you can simply link back to that post that says, here's what that means. That way you're not repeating yourself all the time, you're not trying to re-explain concepts all the time. And for your marketing and for your branding, you should have concepts. You should have concepts that you've named, which again goes into the branding and storytelling, stuff that you believe in, that you keep repeating, that you keep referring to, and the reference post is where you simply define that for people who've never heard of it before. And finally, the fifth kind of content you should create is product updates. So that is if you have a product, a service, software, anything like that, whenever you do something new, so maybe you added some new lessons to your course, you added a feature to your software, you've changed something about your offer, then you make a post on your blog explaining what the change is, what the new thing is, and what it does. This can be very, very simple content, often very easy to create, but it also makes people very happy. People like to get product news. So, if you have a course, people who've bought the course, they love hearing that you've added a new lesson or that you've refined one of the modules or something like that. And of course, if you have software, you add new features. People love getting new features. It's basically exciting news, and it can be disproportionate in terms of how easy it is to create that blog post compared to how excited people can get about it. It can be a very, very positive kind of content to create. So those are the 5 types of content that, as I said, if you mix all of them together, make for a really, really powerful blog, because some of these types of content attract traffic, get social shares and so on, while others build your brand, build your fan base, and others lead to conversions. So let me know if you have any questions about these blog post types, and for more information and examples, check out the post below this video.